Hey all, nice to meet you. This session is about what you should know before, but also after using cloud provider managed services. So hi, my name is Dafna Parush Gueta. Nice to meet you all. And the last 5 years I've been working at Cyberism and currently as a technical leader. And while working at Cyberism, I worked on various projects with various architectural approaches. Many of those projects are based on the cloud managed services. So in this talk, I want to share with you my point of view on using cloud managed services. Let's start with definition. What is the cloud? If you're a developer in today's world, there's a good chance that your infrastructure is on the cloud. Today, 90% of the companies use cloud provider services. 60% of the workloads run on the cloud. 30% of the IT budget are allocated to the cloud. And those numbers are only expected to be increased in the upcoming years. If you are still not convinced that this is the future for the tech industry, the number 3 most paid job in 2018 was cloud engineers. So why should you use the cloud, or why companies adopting cloud so rapidly? Using the cloud provider allows you to move responsibility from you to the cloud provider. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, you can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and databases on an as-needed basis from your cloud provider. The key benefits of using the clouds are, first of all, money. There's a lower upfront cost and pay as you go. You don't need to make large upfront investment in hardware and overpay for capacity you don't use. Instead of buying and maintaining your own hardware, you have all the infrastructure you could possibly need, and you only pay for what you use. The freedom to grow, scaling up and down based on your usage. You can scale those resources up and down to grow or shrink capacity instantly as your business grows and changes. So, deploy globally. Cloud providers also make it easy to expand to new regions. Cloud providers have infrastructure all over the world, so you are able to deploy your application in multiple physical locations. Putting the application close to your end user reduces latency and therefore improve their experience. And sometimes for compliance, you must deploy your app in different regions. One good example is the GDPR. Focus and time to market. Bottom line, it gives you focus. You don't waste your time on tasks that are not your core business and others can perform better. The clouds free you from managing infrastructure, data center, and technology, so you can focus on what matters most to your business. So we are all set on what are the cloud providers and what are the benefits. Now let's talk about what are the different types of cloud services models. Each type gives you, the developer, different level of responsibility. Infrastructure as a service is the externalization of the infrastructure. Infrastructure as a service are, for example, virtual machines or file storage services. You can select your own VM based on your needs, like the numbers of CPUs, the memory size, disk size, but you will be responsible for the OS and the middleware and the applications that run on this VM. You can add more VM and delete once you're done with them, but it's up to you as a software developer to manage them and to scale them. PaaS is the platform as a service, externalization of the infrastructure, and the middleware application. Platform as a service provides you a platform, allowing you to develop applications without the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure. You as developer need to focus only on the application development. And SaaS is the externalization of the whole software, software as a service. It's sometimes called on-demand software. Most of the time, it's being accessed by the end user via the web browser. In SaaS, everything is managed by the vendor, the infrastructure, the middleware, and the application itself. So you, as the end user, just need to use it. Gmail is a great example for SaaS. The Google team manages everything, and you just consume it from your web browser. To summarize, each of the cloud services models move more and more responsibility from you to the cloud provider. Cloud services help you to offload and outsource management, which helps you to increase your agility and reduce your time to market. And of course, there is also the on-premise approach, which stands for where you need to manage everything, and there's no cloud providers here to rescue. So, what did I learn from using cloud provider services? Is it also shining and glory? Well, not, or not always. My first lesson then. Lesson number one was that with great power comes great responsibility. When I choose to work with specific cloud managed service, I explored this service. I read technical blog posts on this service. I built POC on top of this service. And I verified that there is a perfect match between my use case and my technology challenge and the business requirements and these specific service capabilities. But I was educated to understand that together with choosing the specific service, I choose the whole ecosystem. You're asking, what does this ecosystem stand for? The ecosystem is the billing service, the security, rules, and permission methodology of the cloud providers, and many more. I needed to invest time on learning new best practices of the cloud provider. I need to adjust my CI/CD to use managed services, or the deployment process change. I need to redesign my automation framework in order to test communication with those managed services. It was suddenly new expertise that I need to adopt and learn into my development environment. The impact of using cloud provider managed service, specific service, was much wider than learning and integrating with the specific service. Good example for this, it will be the cloud provider billing service. I needed to learn how to read and use the cloud provider billing service, where to find all the reports, to understand them, and to the right conclusion from those reports. And just like there are code writing best practices, there are billing management best practices that I had to learn. For example, budget managing with alerts, labeling my cloud resources, and a few more techniques and tools. So, apart from learning and using the real service I want to work with, I had to learn, use, and manage the whole ecosystem of my cloud provider. And there is a learning curve for those tools, and you will need to invest time on it. So just keep that in mind. My second lesson learned. The unlimited scale. Is it really unlimited? Sometimes it sounds like the cloud has the ability to scale infinitely, but I learned that there are limits, and the quota tells you how far you can push those limits. We faced quota limitation more than once. So before using any service, I recommend reading the quota limitations of the service and try to think about the future and the potential growth of your business needs. Imagine a big future with great success, your business grows 10 times. Does this service still fit your needs? Will you be blocked by the quota? If so, this is a red mark. Remember it and use it with caution. But there are some advantages of the quota limitations. First, it's in your face. It's available to you from day one. It's written black on white on the cloud provider documentations. So before you even start working, you just need to read it, and there's no extra effort from your side. Second thing is that some of those limitations might be solved soon without you doing anything. It might be part of the cloud provider roadmap, or it's already available as a beta service. One more important thing to know about a quota is the differentiations between hard limits and soft limits. Hard limits are fixed. When you reach it, you start in the wall. Soft limits can be modified by your cloud provider based on your needs and it's negotiable. So there are limitations and there are constraints, and sometimes there's no match and there is no service that fits your needs. One approach is to create your own tailor-made solution. Sometimes combining together few services can solve it. So try to be creative, think out of the box, challenge the requirements, challenge the business needs, think of it and open your mind. My third lesson learned. We're back to money. You will be charged for your mistakes. Pay-as-you-go model brings a few new challenges to you as a developer. The cloud provider charges you only for what is being used, right? But what happens if you just didn't mean to use it? Remember, you will be charged for your mistakes. And again, with great power comes great responsibility. Cost explosion risk. In one of my projects, the load and the traffic was controlled by third party. So as a result, the build was changed without me doing I wasn't involved actively. So I always had to monitor it and to track it. Every day I look at the report. It was my responsibility. So one good practice to start with is budget alerts. But note, alerts only notify if we send you email notification or Slack notification. But then what? The charge still can grow rapidly. Another good practice is to set your scale limit. Some of the services let you to define the maximum scale. For example, maximum number of machines in Kubernetes cluster. And while you're setting auto scale rule, do it with caution. Think about the impact. When it will reach the maximum, how your bill will look like, how much you will be charged for it, for the maximum scale. Again, it's your responsibility. And sometimes there's no way to escape it, and you will need to manage those limits programmatically on your own. To summarize, you will need to invest time on understanding what could go wrong, what is out of your control, and how it can impact your cost. List all the items and then go through the list, block and solve each one of the items. And think of it, limits are not always bad. So we crossed the finish line, and those were just 3 of my lessons learned. I have many more and still counting, but if I have to sum up in one sentence, I would say that using managed services bring you great power and great responsibility, and you will enjoy it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to reach out. Bye-bye. Thank you.